And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and we're in the mighty 1090 studios with Mr. Corey Sanden from MC Swimbaits. We're going to have a great time. Now, Ricky was not supposed to be here today. He's supposed to be on the bay. San Diego Bay Bass Tournament, but we'll tell you why he's sitting here, and he won't be here next Saturday. So you stay tuned. Southern California's sport fishing voice is Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 58 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built by fishermen for fishermen. From our next-generation waterproof shorts like Tactical or Stealth to our new anhydrous waterproof jacket and bibs, the entire AFCO clothing line is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and features designed to deliver for the demanding angler. To find AFCO products, go to AFCO.com and find a dealer near you.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
If you are looking for a powerful, smooth, great casting reel at an affordable price, check out the Shimano Torium HG. It's up to 30% smaller than the previous generation, but still has the same line capacity. The smaller S-compact body design and one-piece die-cast aluminum frame provides more rigidity and lighter weight. Torium now has EI surface treatment and is tested up to 700 times the corrosion resistance of past models. The Shimano Torium HG is not only better on the outside, the inside is amazing, with a cross-carbon drag providing up to 24 pounds of drag pressure from a Star Drag reel. It has a sealed roller clutch and 6.2 to 1 brass gears. The machined aluminum handle has a larger knob to make it easy to crank in a big fish. The new lightweight aluminum spool gives you better casting and control. Available in 3 sizes, the Torium HD is the next evolution in compact, rigid, and powerful saltwater Star Drag reels. Get it now at your local Shimano dealer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. This is one of my favorite shows.
Indeed, Corey Sanden. After last week at Dana Landing, man, it was that was a busy time, right?
That was
a really
that
fun
was
event.
packed house, man.
Great
That was
event,
cool.
And, thanks to Steve and the gang over there for putting on one heck of a event. I didn't get a chance to have one of those pulled pork sandwiches. Were they good?
Oh, I was right next to it. I
That's cool.
That Traeger setup.
Yeah,
delicious.
That guy started cooking that stuff early. But, great event, and then that
Totally.
great seminar at Fast Lane, Ron Lane and Debbie Lane hosting that. That was really fantastic. And so it was supposed to be you and me today, Corey, and maybe, what the heck happened?
I'll tell you, that was one heck of a weather system for sure. But Dwayne, it's switching the weekends with the Bay Bass tournament.
That was some wild weather.
Yeah, we had some wind. I mean, I cannot remember winds like we had for like 2-hour period yesterday in the middle of the day that it was like, okay, are my windows going to break in my office?
Right.
Because my office's faces due south, and it was like blowing straight into the south. It was like rattling the windows and stuff.
You know what's amazing, as I was thinking about this, in 4 years we've had, weather events and things happen. The ocean water temperature has not been affected at all, period. And I wonder what this did.
It's a mega one, yeah.
So to talk about the Bay Bass tournament real quick, those of you that don't know, it has been postponed due to weather till next Saturday.
Correct.
It's going to be at Saturday, and there's good news. It's good news and bad. There's a couple of reasons. The tent company basically refused to put tents up. That was one of the primary reasons. It was, and the weather, of course, it was unsafe to really be out on the water when it's blowing 20, 25 and stuff. So it was a good call. But here was the issue. Next weekend's actually a better weekend to have it because it's better tides. Of course, the weather's supposed to be beautiful next weekend. But the reason they had it this weekend is because they were going to start the renovation
right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
next weekend. But they've pushed that off now until April, so Dwayne was able to call the port and say, hey, you mind if we move it up? It's like, yeah, fine.
Oh, that's cool. See, I wondered about that.
So the tides are way better next year.
I wondered why they wouldn't have picked the tides. I didn't realize it was because the construction was supposed to start on the launch ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the story. That's the inside story. So actually, isn't it amazing the way things work out?
Right?
Yeah.
All for the better.
All for the better.
And we don't all have to compete against Dennis and Eddie because they're going to be in Brazil. And so we just take them. We just take them right out of it.
How about that? That's a huge deal, right?
I think they leave first thing tomorrow morning. We were BSing about it. They said, oh, man, the Bay Bass tournament's going to be tough because we're going to be getting ready for Brazil and we're going to go peacock bassing. And I think they were either leaving right after the tournament for an afternoon flight or finish the tournament and then first thing in the morning they go out, something like that. So now we don't have to. The rest of us don't have to worry about them for next weekend.
That's good time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's good time.
Exactly. Yeah. We all just moved up one.
The field up just a little bit more. There. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we all gained a place.
So Corey, what's the hot tip? I mean, we talked about it last week a little bit with Benny Florentino and you. I mean, guys were in the seminar that we had there at Fast Lane. Guys were asking questions. What are you looking for to win this tournament next Saturday?
I wish I had the perfect answer, to be honest with you, but there's so many variables and so many things that happen on that one particular given day, and to put it all together, obviously, is the most difficult part of the whole thing. Eddie and Dennis, part of their whole program is 3 to 4 rods per individual, so you're talking 6 to 8, maybe even 10 rods
in the water at one time.
Yeah, I mean we'll just say it's ridiculous, right? I mean,
right?
But it's a winning recipe, and it works. And they're constantly working a lure in the water column, in the right area of the water column. Right.
How do you work 6 to 8 rods at a time?
That's the thing. It's work. I mean, you just said it. It's work. And
how many do you and Doug work?
4 to 6 was what we fished.
Total.
That's a lot of rods.
Total, yeah. 4 to 6 total.
Not 10.
No.
But that's doable, three.
Yeah.
Because you throw one out, and as you're drifting, you throw your second one out, and you knock them all off by 15, 20 degrees, and you just fan them out, and by the time you get done with your first one and cast it back out 20 degrees, you're on to number 2, which was where number 1 was when you started, and you keep going like that, and
you're always in the game.
You're always winding one through the right zone,
right.
And that's the whole part of the program. You know?
How do you keep the tangles at a minimum?
Well, because you're fanning them out. You're keeping everything 15 to 20 degrees off, and that's the reason why they use mono. Monofilament sinks, and so as you get like a downward bow in your line as it's sinking down, and you start to wind it, well, now you're winding your line parallel to the bottom, not 45 degrees and bringing it up through the water column.
So rather than use Spectra Power Pro,
there it is.
You want to use mono.
You're hitting on
when
the
you're
head.
doing the long line.
You're hitting on the head. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they'll use 12-pound, 15. Not very heavy at all. So they lose a lot of lead heads and a lot of baits, and
because it's all about big fish.
Well, it is, right? I mean, sometimes it's just getting some fish.
Why 12 and 15? Why not 20 and 30?
Well, it's just so they can maximize their line capacity on the reel.
Okay.
Because they're literally dumping the reel of line. By the time they get to it, they're usually out of line.
Yeah.
From drifting.
That's exactly it. We all like fishing with low-profile reels, Calcutta, Corrado 300s, Calcutta D, 300, 400. If you start putting more than 15 or 20, like if you went to, say, 25-pound, you just don't hold enough line. Sure, you have enough line to cast out and hit the bottom and wind back and drift a little off, but if you're talking about like what Corey is, where you're letting half the spool go, 3/4 of the spool go on reel number one, by the time you're done reeling reel number one and number two is spooled and stuck in the bottom, and now you got no, that kind of thing. So you got to have capacity
now,
still.
If you have any questions about this and your thought process, like what the heck, I can't understand a bit of this, but Rick and Doug did this with Inside Sport Fishing, and I think a two-part thing where they did this in the bay and explained it exactly in the colors and from bait fish patterns to like orange-bellied colors and stuff. So they actually did a neat thing. And the individual who actually originated this, as far as I know, was Gary Brown.
Right, as far as I know,
who started Fish Trap Lures. And that was Gary Brown, local guy, and Bob's Bait and Tackle had the series of tournaments.
Now you're dating yourself.
Well, it's not dating myself. It's just knowing the knowledge, right?
Yeah, for sure. About how it all happened. Right?
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
It's definitely a very unique fishery to that spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. It's just not something, so far away from the calico bass fishing that you do anywhere else.
Something we haven't seen either in a few years, 3 or 4 years or more, 5 years, is that migration of like sand bass, and I think that is something that I think we caught a glimpse of it this just a month or two ago, off Orange County and San Diego. Like Fred Huber was talking about some of the stuff they were catching on the half day, and some of the nicer sized sand bass. So you start to catch a 3 to 5 pound sand bass, it just isn't part of the local scene. It's part of that migratory, and I think a lot of that bleeds into going into the harbor in the cool months to capture that extra degree or two of water temperature, and that's when the bay gets loaded and stocked up, and I don't know if we're going to see it right now, but it's something I think that we might see in the future coming.
Sure. Awesome.
Is this dumping of all this rain going to help or hurt the tournament?
I think we've had enough rain. We talked about it in the seminar. I think we've had enough 1-inch events back to back to back, already, that it's kind of conditioned, cleared the waterways out, and a lot of people don't know, but some of our largest, we have the San Diego River, and they used to dump into Mission Bay, but we have the Otay River and the Sweetwater River that are huge, water catchment basins that dump into San Diego Bay. That's what San Diego Bay is made of. And so those got cleared out, I would assume, with 6 inches of rain prior to what we just had. And that 30 to 40 foot of water, I don't think is highly affected that deep, as much as you would think.
Yeah, the migratory sand bass are still going to be there.
I would totally believe so, especially toward the mouth. It's not going to be as affected as, there are times where I've caught huge sand bass all the way back by the car carrier docks, like way back in
he's
there.
giving it out here now.
Well, that is some good zone, but I mean, I wouldn't look toward that zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be pretty
by the
ugly.
Sweetwater River back there.
Way back there.
That's a lot of water coming through.
But
there.
Shelter Island, Harbor Island, and the cable crossing and the jetty zone, I bet you isn't going to be as horribly affected as what you would think.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about calico bass, which
my passion, my
love. Absolutely, a lot of our
spread the
passion,
love
for sure. And how has that been? I mean, what's been going on? You know, calico, the kelp basically disappeared, and now it's back.
Along with that, my heart sank. I mean, it was just. I love the calico bass fishery. It's obviously everybody knows, and it just with the quote unquote El Nino style the last few years, it really put a hurt on the kelp. It's still there. I mean, I went out and you could still find some kelp, but it wasn't the freshwater frog style mat that you love to fish.
Yeah.
You get the blow ups through the kelp and stuff, and man, the stuff's growing back and looking good. And I know, like, talking to some of the guys up north, like Palos Verdes and Rocky Point, that stuff, it was still there. They get kind of a cooler upwelling, but the islands and our coast here, man, it really suffered, and it's coming back beautifully. And I'm flourishing, man.
Yeah.
I love to see it and hear about it.
Yeah, all those inside stones, all the kelp lines and stuff like that. I mean, the water's cooler now, and
the kelp's looking really super healthy.
Just looking amazing.
I love
it. Every time I go out there, it just seems getting thicker and thicker, and
it's crazy how
back to what it was.
It's crazy how fast it replenishes itself. You know, I mean, because it was not long ago that it was, like you say, you drive out and it was just gone. Gone. And now all of a sudden you go to make the lazy turn to go up the coast earlier instead of going all the way out to Buoy 3 or something, and all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, we can't do this anymore. It's back.
It's thick.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome
I like
news.
it. And it grows up to 24 inches a day. That's what's amazing.
It's crazy.
And a lot of it was still there. It was just down 20, 30, 40 foot, so it was coming up off the bottom, but didn't have a chance to really grow.
So how does that affect the calico fishing?
Well, it just doesn't make it like as exciting for a guy like me that wants to surface blow up, work your slug or your weed.
They're still there then.
Oh, the fish are there 100%. They're just, they get more conditioned to a boat coming on to the spot because the shadow and the noise and there's nowhere for them to hide but on the bottom.
Sure.
Or toward the bottom.
Yeah.
And they will elevate, they'll suspend up off the kelp, but like I said, they hear that boat or they hear they see or hear the shadow or whatever's going on, and they're gone. I mean, they're hunkered down. It's like a sea lion coming through the zone, You might as well forget it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But it's calico fishing both here on the coast as well as down in Baja. We go to Cedros Adventures and have phenomenal calico fishing down at Cedros, and go to the Clemente. And
that's the thing on the skip trip, the Shogun trips. The skip trip. I mean, everywhere we went, there's no kelp.
Yeah, that was tough. That made it tough. But
it was good fishing.
There were still very good fishing.
Oh, we had some of the most phenomenal fishing at Benito's. Not one blade of kelp, but 60 fish an hour.
60 fish an hour.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was epic.
Wow.
Yeah,
good fishing.
It was.
Yeah. So how is there a difference if guys are fishing bay bass versus guys are fishing calicos? Different baits, different equipment? Is it pretty much the same thing?
You could parallel a lot of it, but it's done in maybe heavier lead head for the sand bass thing, lighter lead head for the calico. You could do the same thing for calicos. Fish 60 foot of water, 30 foot on the bottom. But a lot of what I love to do, as we described, is up on the surface to blow up the visual reactionary bites. Same thing in freshwater. A lot of that carries over to the tap water and the green bass, and it's the same exact setups and parallels and same rod and reel, same everything.
Using the weedless MC swim bait.
That's it. I mean,
so
seriously, like the El Salto stuff.
So is that kind of replaced the slugs? Do you sell slugs still?
Well, the guys who know the slug are diehard guys, and they know how to rig them, and they know how to fish them, and it's a whole different setup. Rick's done it, he knows. But the weedless swim bait is really for the guy. It's easy. It's an easy
user-friendly.
Super user-friendly.
Which one gets bit better?
I would say overall, for the most part, the weedless swim bait by far.
Okay.
The slug by far is the most exciting.
Sure. You miss a lot of bites, though.
You do. They get sloppy
together, and it's just like, man, it's like, oh, that was a good one, but he missed it. That was a good one, too, but he missed it.
Right. Where the weedless swim, it's probably better hookup ratio, even on a 14-inch fish,
But the adrenaline, there's nothing like watching one come up and eat that slug. Every bite, every single bite that you get is spectacular. And some of them are even better than that.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And what's amazing is guys think, Clemente, and oh my gosh, that's the land of plenty, and it is. But some of the biggest fish, and for most people too, are on the coast.
Yeah.
You might have a lot of 2 to 3 pounders, but that's where the 10, 11 pounders come from. Usually, I mean, they do come from the island, but I think there's more from the coast.
Yeah.
World records from right outside of Newport Harbor.
Really?
Less than a half mile.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, the new size and quantity limit, the 14-inch size limit, the 5 bass fish. Have you seen an impact of that in what you do, which is pretty much catching?
I'll tell you what I see a lot more of is instead of going out and having, in the heat of summer, calicos are sparked up instead of 11 to 12 inches. 50 fish day, we're catching 13-inch, 14.
Cool.
Nights are great.
Well, you're going from, 3/4 of a pound to actually catching a legitimate, pound and a quarter, pound and a half fish.
Yeah.
And that, who's going to argue with that?
Yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
And for the most part, it's a catch-and-release fishery.
Yeah.
But for those guys that like to keep them, how are you going to argue with keeping 5 fish at 2 pounds apiece,
They're delicious.
Oh, absolutely.
So, no doubt. And 5 is a reasonable limit. 10 was out of control.
I'll agree with you, and some people might argue.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people would, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But wholeheartedly, how can you argue with being able to keep 5 fish of a legit quality, no slot limit? I mean, if you want to keep 5 pounders, I don't recommend it.
And conserving a wonderful resource.
It's conserving, it's utilizing, and it's taking care of everybody all the way around. Truly,
no doubt about it.
I love it.
As you can hear, we have a great show lined up today. Corey's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to just fishing in general. The guy is just fishy, both freshwater. We haven't even ventured into his whole freshwater game here yet.
Trust me, I'm the same. I got so many things that I want to ask Corey, and I hope you do too, because it's going to be a great show this morning and so much cool information to go over. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning, there's 2 ways you can reach us. First is with our local line, which is 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can reach us toll-free. That toll-free line is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. It's open right now, and I can assure you it's going to be a very busy morning. Best to call right now. And not only is Corey in here answering all of our questions, great info today. We've got really good catch reports coming up, all kinds of great stuff. Corey's given us 2 just awesome prizes, and how cool, for 2 lucky callers at the end of the show today are each going to win a $100 pack, and these are custom hand-picked packs from Corey of assorted MC swim baits. So a $100 pack coming your way at the end of the show today, and that's for 2 different callers.
2 callers really each get a custom Corey Sanden MC swim bait assortment.
How cool is that? Awesome. Again, if you want to get your shot at that, and better yet, your chance to talk to the man himself, 858 area code 457-1090 or 877-792-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Tons of great information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
When bad weather and rough seas send other boats back to the docks, Seakeeper allows you to fish longer and fish harder, even in the roughest conditions. Don't believe us? Just listen to what Southern California's own Captain Pete Grosbeck says. He says, "We're very impressed with the whole operation of the Seakeeper. We live bait a lot. We go slow, which puts us in the trough. And now basically there is no trough. Seakeeper's newest offering, the Seakeeper 3, is optimized to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on boats between 30 and 39 feet. Even better, the gyro is so small it can fit inside a customized leaning post, bringing installation down to a mere 2 days. To learn more about how Seakeeper can change your life on the water and to schedule your free demo, go to Seakeeper.com. Take a ride. Be amazed. Seakeeper.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3/4 day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3/4-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3/4-day, or 1 to 3-day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Okay, today is the day. Today and tomorrow, it's the Los Angeles Boat Show. It's happening right now, and there's so much great stuff there. And now at the Fairplex in Pomona, which is all inside, by the way, you can get to there from anywhere in Southern California, San Diego, Orange County, L.A. County, wherever it is. The Fairplex is right there, easy to find and easy to get in and out in Pomona there. The newest models of boats and marine gear, the latest gear, accessories, everything a boater needs. They have all kinds of great fun for the kids and the whole family. Today, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Admission's just $15. Kids 12 and under are free, and they have discounts for active military, too. So check it out. The Los Angeles Boat Show happening today at 10 o'clock and tomorrow at the Fairplex in Pomona. Check out losangelesboatshow.com.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com. You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Phones are already packing up because we've got such a great show today. Again, if you want to get your chance before the craziness, because it's going to be a busy one, 858 area code 457-1090 or toll free 877-792-1090.
All right, today's the day we're going to announce that big giveaway for the Bill Varney calendar. And so, are we ready?
I think so. So, again, if you're not familiar, we talked about every week on Let's Talk Hookup, on the back of your calendar, like the very, very back cover, there's a big thing for CCA, and right in the center at the bottom is a number. And basically, if you bought a ticket, if you bought a calendar, you're in this drawing.
And this is going to be the third Saturday of every month. We're going to do this CCA drawing here on Let's Talk Hookup, and then they post it on the CCA website, ccacal.org. It's posted on the website there. So this is the Bill Varney Tide calendar. You can purchase at any landing tackle store. Pretty much they're all over the place. Or you can go to fishttosurf.com and purchase it right on Bill's website. Or you can go right to the ccacal.org website and purchase it there, I believe, or get a link to where it is there. So here's what they've lined up for the first giveaway.
Let's hear it.
It's a Cousins Bill Varney Series 901 surf rod. It's a 9-foot 2-piece spinning rod. 6.2 ounces is this thing weighs.
Jeez.
It's rated at 4 to 12 pound test, 1 ounce lure rating. Perfect for surf fishing. It's designed by Bill and made by Cousins designed for corvina, perch, spotfin, croaker, halibut. Retail value $240.
Woo, sweet.
So the winning number, here we go, 1224. 1224. 1224 on the back of your Bill Varney calendar. If that's your number, you need to contact them and contact Bill, fishthesurf.com, and they'll set you up, and or contact Wayne at CCA, and they'll get you your new rod. So
that's
congratulations. 1224. 1224 is the winning number there for that Cousins rod, and that's the first of the many of 12 giveaways we'll be doing the third weekend of every month here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Sweet. All right, well, the phones are getting packed up. Everybody wants to talk to Corey, and why don't we start it off this morning with Hills, who's calling us from Ventura. Good morning, Hills. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Corey, I wanted to ask for a fishing tip. I'm pretty obsessed with surf fishing and all fishing, but I've tried it a little bit, and I haven't hooked up yet with drop shotting the small slug. And I was just wondering if you could give me a little tip, like by describing, like, am I using the surge of the wave back and forth and leaving my sinker on the bottom, or am I slow reeling, and like what's? Can you give me any tips?
Yeah, absolutely, Hills. That is really good. And I actually made a bait like 10 years ago called the drop shot bait, and I made it for surf fishing, Hills. I love surf fishing and halibut, and it's about a 5-inch bait, and it is fluke style, but most fluke style tails are horizontal, and the drop shot style tail is vertical. So if you can imagine it, it's actually like a real fish tail. It's not flat to the bottom. And so you rig it on a 5/0, like a unweighted swimbait hook, like a perfect would be a Gamakatsu 5/0 because of the shape and how they're elongated. And you rig it up on the spring, and you want that large of a hook, Hills, because the halibut, you want the bait to move out of the way when you hook a fish. You'll still hook the perch. And you want the vertical eye on the hook. This is the very most important part of the whole thing, Hills. Most drop shotting in freshwater is done with very light weights and very light everything. And they use the Palomar and bring the tag end of the Palomar knot back through the eye. Well, when you start using a 1/2 ounce or 1 ounce, I use a 1 ounce personally because it is an anchor, and that's all you're using it for, as you described, Hills. And by that 1 ounce weight on the back end, every cast you're putting pressure on the back end of the knot, and nothing happens. And this is the saddest part of the whole thing. You don't realize that your knot's gone bad until you set the hook on a fish.
Ooh.
And you break off instantly. But by the vertical eye, you tie your main line on top, and you tie your sinker line, which could be of any weight, super light weight, underneath. And you're exactly what you described it, Hills. You throw it out, you're fishing the pocket, and the surf comes in, you give it a little bit of slack, and it swims with the current. Let it go back out, and it's swimming with the current the other way.
Just like a baitfish would be.
It teases the heck out of them. They can't
So when you
it.
say a vertical eye, you're not talking about like a standard hook just as a straight eye. This is actually turned up.
Well, yeah, if you could just, so everything's in line. If you can imagine visually, everything is going to be in a straight line from your main line, the eye of the hook, and then your sinker line.
Okay.
It's all in a straight line.
All right.
And
think about your normal everyday J bait hook. That eye is turned 90 degrees. You know, it's flat to the point of the hook.
Yeah.
This is in line with it, so it's turned straight in line.
It's a lethal technique. And Hills, I'm sure you come to the Long Beach show, and I'm sorry, Pete, but that's only about 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
March the 1st, it starts.
Just to let you know.
First, it's always the first Wednesday in March, and it is March the 1st this year.
Yeah.
Ouch.
How about that, huh?
It's
coming.
But Hills, if you come to the Long Beach show, I always have like 6 or 8 of the drop shot bait colors, and it's a phenomenal surf technique, and it's great in the bay. It's great everywhere, really, in the inshore. But surf, it's what I made it for.
There you go. All right, Hills. There you go. Get the inside scoop, and now you'll be, of course, at both Fred Hall, Long Beach, and Del Mar.
Both of those.
Right, and so this is an opportunity, like for many, many people, to see people like Corey and learn and teach. Right? Do you do seminars there, or you're just too busy?
No, absolutely.
Oh,
no, that's full seminar thing. Yeah, it's twice a day usually. But the it's a seminar at the booth the entire time. It's 10 hours.
A one-on-one.
It is, and that's why if Hills comes to the show, we'll set it all up, and I'll actually have a rig he can look at. So
usually, in addition to Corey, there's usually some awesome, one of your Bud's pro staff guys that, anytime you go to that booth at either of those two shows, there is like an extreme expert, not just a guy that's decent at it, but really good, just showing, well, this is rigging and this is how we do. Everything.
They're all good.
They're
all really
awesome.
Good. Yep.
And can include Dennis and Eddie too, right?
They have been there, they have actually, and Doug and Eugene and Matt Koch from Fishhead Art and Eric Landisfine's there sometimes, and Eric Noguchi, and
got some great pro staff guys.
They're really good guys.
No doubt.
It's more family.
Yeah,
that's right.
No doubt. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning, Hills. That does free up 858-457-1090. You want to get through? There's your chance.
All right. How about next up? We talked to John. He's calling us from Mira Mesa this morning. John, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Corey, there's times, let's say Mission Bay, where I'd want to use. It seems like the fish be feeding on micro bait fish, small bait fish, and I wish I would have had like a tiny weedless. Similar, I've seen the ones you make for freshwater. I was just curious if you have any colors like that would work in Mission Bay, like anchovy color or something like that.
Yeah, when you start talking little micro bait, that little miniature 3-inch finesse little fin bait, you can get them down at Dana, or you can get them at Fisherman's Landing, but Dana's got a great assortment right there on Mission Bay. And talk to Johnny, and he's got the 1/0 hooks. It's a little miniature 1/0 hook, weighted swimbait hook that you can fish that with. And
wow,
if you're fishing from the bank or fishing, 10 foot of water, you can get it to work like perfectly. But if you're fishing like 15 foot of water from the boat and it's blowing wind, it's not going to be the most friendly of rigs. But dude, to fish a little 3-inch bait,
so rad,
weedless, and the hook is beefy. It's like a 1/0 bait hook. It's a really beefy wired hook. It's not going to open up.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can even open it up with a pair of pliers a little bit, just to increase the gap. And it's a lot of effort just to open it up a tiny bit.
What's ideal gear to fish that? Is like a spinning rod and reel with some braid, or still conventional? What's the ideal outfit to fish something like that on? In John's scenario.
In John's scenario, he's talking about like going lightweight, and spinning gear might be the most friendly, but you can throw that rig. It's heavy enough that you can throw it on a bait caster with 30-pound braid. For sure, it's heavy enough.
Indeed.
I love it. That's rad. That's a cool bait.
All right. Hey, hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. Hey, with that, it's time to find out what's biting in the Baja. We got the Cast Man standing by, and today the Catch Report sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Fisherman's Processing is San Diego's finest, and that's why they're known as the Fish Pros. Once you try them, you'll be hooked. They'll fillet your fish, vacuum pack your fish, all to your specs, as well as offer the best in smoked fish, jerky, and the famous tuna burgers. Check fishermansprocessing.com for more details, or you can see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landings. And we got them standing by, the Cast Man, Richard Castaneda of Cast Tours. Buenos dias, Cast Man.
Hey, buenos dias, Ricky, Pedro.
Cast Man.
Everything is good?
All good.
All good.
Hey, listen, Pedro, I was talking to you the other day. We're going to be doing Pedicee, Panama again this coming July.
Cool.
July, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll talk more about that after the fish report. But let's start off with the hottest place in Mexico right now is Ixtapa Zihuatanejo. And the sailfish are really, really just come alive this past week. Top boats are they're hooking up 5, 6, 7 a day, releasing probably about an average about 3 per day. And pretty close to the beach, starting about 5 miles and then up from there. But it's beautiful, clear blue water. They've also been getting a few blue marlin, a few striped marlin in the mix. And also there's been a scattering of tuna, not many like it was the previous week, but some really good fish. Oh, the Dorado. They were also getting some nice big bull Dorado there. Along the beaches south of Zihuatanejo, there's some pretty good rooster fish action going on along the surf line there. Not any really big monsters right now, but those guys should be moving in here probably in the next few weeks. But they're getting a mixture of jacks and small roosters. Let's move over to Cabo San Lucas there, and San Jose del Cabo striped marlin bite really took a dive this past week. Seemed like the water really cooled off, and the warmer water's out of about 40 miles. Out that area, they're finding the yellowfin tuna under the schools of porpoise. No big boys, they're ranging anywhere from 15, 20 to maybe 30 pounds. Still, inside the Sea of Cortez, the Ponga fleet out of San Jose del Cabo is moving up the usual spot. The Iman Bank up there is still, it seems like it went on all year this last year, and it looks like it's going to probably be there again all this coming year. Iman Bank, for some reason, holds tuna just about year-round. And not big fish right now. I think the biggest is about 40, but most of them are 15 to 20. And what's surprising is that they have started getting the sardina, that little bait that they've had there for years. It really, really disappeared this last year, and all of a sudden now they're coming back, and it's really good news. We got sardinas back. I just hope that they don't get overfished. But the sardina, drifting the sardinas is probably the best ticket for those. And then along the beaches, Sierra mackerel have finally moved in, and gosh, those things are so good eating for just fish tacos or just about ceviche. They're really good eating, but some really good fish. But that's a report for this week, and excuse me, let the listeners know that I did put together a package back to Petite, Panama. It's what I call Panama on a budget. You'll never find a cheaper vacation to Panama, fishing vacation. It's going to price out at $13.99, and that's going to include a full week in Panama, first and last night Panama City, 5 nights up at the village of Petite, and 4 days of ponga fishing, and just add air to that, and you're ready to rock.
Come on, $13.95? Are you kidding me, Castman? For a week?
Yeah.
That includes the transfer, the bus ride up to Petite, which is kind of fun.
It includes, we got Demas, our bus driver, taking us up there, and all the lodging, daily breakfast. I forgot to throw that in, and 4 days of fishing. So just got to add air to that.
Air, and so all your meals, too?
Not some of them dinners. We're going to have some of the dinners included. I haven't quite fine-tuned that, but they've got some great restaurants here within walking distance of the hotel we're staying at. So.
Are you staying right in Petite?
Yeah, we're staying right in Petite because we're going to be fishing out of Arenal, the beach right there. That's the prime area to fish in July. And, of course, July we're going to be into a lot of tuna, the Dorado, and guys want some billfish. And, of course, along the beaches there. Over at Isla Iguana, you've got the roosters around the beaches, and of course we'll have a good shot at wahoo at that time of year.
The tuna coast, they call it, right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
That's cool. Well, that's great. So if you want to go, in fact, I was talking to some of the guys on our journeyman trip this past week about that trip. We're talking about Panama, and of course, Pesca Panama, you're looking at $5,000 plus to do that trip. This trip you could be all in for like $2,000, right?
Yeah, that'd be about $2,000. And and talking about Pesca, I've got one spot left. I was able to fill one. I've got one spot for one guy. If you're sitting there at home and you want to go fish some big tuna and get into those beautiful areas around Coiba, Hannibal Bank, Montosa, it's there, man. So if you're single and you want to join us, I'll match you up. It'll be a blast.
Oh, totally. For sure. Totally. All right, Cass, Petite or Pesca, or wherever you go with Cass, it's always a good time. How do we get a hold of you?
800-593-6510 or on the web at www.casstours.com, and I'll talk to you boys next Saturday.
All right.
Thanks,
talk to you
Cass.
next Saturday, Cass, man.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
There's a new kid in town, and they are creating near miracles on boats all over the Southland. It's Blue Seas Fabrication, the West Coast's first and only certified sea deck fabricator and installer. Install sea deck EVA from non-skid decking materials on your boat, sport fisher, or yacht, and your boating experience is enhanced and improved. Why? Well, first, sea deck from Blue Seas Fabrication enriches the look of any boat, old or new. Next, the SeaDeck non-skid decking material adds comfort, convenience, safety, and value. The possibilities are endless. Let the experts from Blue Seas Fabrication show you how SeaDeck will make your life easier and better on every trip. Their professional staff will custom fit your deck, bridge, and interior with the stylish, non-absorbent, stain-resistant, and easy-to-clean material in multiple textures, designs, and colors. SeaDeck offers comfort and anti-fatigue properties for those long days of fishing. It can also be used on kayaks, boat trailers, and more. See for yourself. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com to see how SeaDeck can transform your watercraft and truly create a wow factor for the next time you head out. Call them at 858-232-4188 for more information and a free quote. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com and enhance your fishing experience.
Yamaha's Choose Reliability Sales Event is on. For a limited time, purchase a new select eligible 2.5 to 300 horsepower 4-stroke outboard and receive either 2 free years of Yamaha extended service coverage or up to $1,500 in dealer credit. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Offer ends March 31st, 2017. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha Ford dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Sport fishing, not just for dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
Nothing is more exciting than fishing Cedros Island on a Hobie Mirage Drive kayak. And Cedros Kayak Fishing will hook you up on this amazing experience. Cedros Kayak Fishing offers deluxe accommodations in their beautiful secluded casita with all the comforts you would expect from a high-end resort, including single occupancy rooms and filtered water. Kayak tours are on Hobie Outback kayaks with bait tanks, fish finder, and VHF radios to ensure a great experience. Fly to Cedros and travel light, as Cedros Tackle has a fully outfitted tackle shop, including top-of-the-line rental gear. After a long day on the water, enjoy delicious local cuisine prepared by the staff. Cedros Kayak Adventures also has a fully outfitted panga and off-road truck and trailer to take you to super secluded spots. Fish where the others don't with Cedros Kayak Fishing. Come join Jeff and the gang for a great trip on Cedros Island. Visit the website at cedroskayakfishing.com for more information and to book your trip. Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
The best coverage of the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 51 is right here. Incredible! San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Been a very busy morning. If you want to get your chance to get through, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090.
Indeed. We have Corey Sanden, MC Swimbaits, giving away a couple of great pets. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, that's
He's
cool,
always
Corey.
so generous. 2 $100 assortments of MC Swimbaits. Good for calico fishing, sand bass fishing, whatever, right?
Freshwater, whatever. Yeah,
Freshwater.
I'll just throw together a pack.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Freshwater? What's that all about? Now, we were just talking about El Salto, and, of course, Rick's going to El Salto with our group and cast tours in about a week and a half. What's the story on freshwater and MC Swimbaits? This is kind of a new deal for you.
Well, for a few years, yeah. I mean, It's always been a passion and growing up doing it. I mean, we all live in Southern California and do it. You know, Rick's done it. And your whole listenership, I mean, is basically back and forth, you know, or at least have done freshwater at some point in their life. And it's something I love doing. And I think it's, you know, with the calico thing and everything I love doing in the freshwater, there's like a cap as far as like enthusiasm and making something. Because still to this day, I make every single lure. And that
yourself.
My hands
You
are the
pour
only
every
hands.
single one.
My hands are the only hands that touch every single lure, and that's from inception and thought to laying out the bait. It's hard shape to making molds.
Wow.
To making each bait. I'm the only guy.
That's crazy.
That does everything.
That blows me away, Corey.
I don't source out the mold making. I don't source out anything.
You make it all.
Every single lure.
How many thousands of baits have you poured over the years?
I mean, seriously, tens of thousands a year.
Yeah.
You know, but so the cap in the calico world kind of stops at a $4 lure, right? I mean, guys don't want to spend more than that, and it kind of. My mind wants to keep going. I mean, I want to keep creating, and I want to keep doing everything, and I'm always coming up with new stuff. And when the kelp kind of disappeared a little bit, it kind of opened the door to the freshwater thing a little bit, and it's just making a functional lure at a great price point, and having fun with it, really.
The thing about the MC Swimbaits in the freshwater world is they are an extremely high effective, I'm going to just say it, better made than most of what's out there at a lesser expensive price. And you don't find those two things never go together.
No.
You either get
and durability.
That's what I'm saying. You either get very high quality or you get inexpensive. You don't get the two together. And that's not a BS thing because Corey's sitting here. It's the truth. I mean, like from the pour to the colors to the attention to detail to the fins to the bait is rigged to swim with a particular. I mean, like the attention to detail
made with a purpose.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to El Salto with Rick, you need to get some MC Swimbaits.
Well, everybody knows that little tiny miniature 3-inch finesse bait with the fins and the whole thing.
Right.
And then I came out with a 5-inch swimmer, which is the same thing but 5 inches. And just like right now, before this last El Salto trip a month ago, I finished the 6-inch swimmer, which is 6 inches, of course. It's much beefier than the 5-inch. It's probably triple the plastic, and it fits a 9/0 hook. So
that's
it's great.
Is that a freshwater bait?
It's a freshwater bait, but it's great for calicos too.
Okay.
That's why, and I'm pricing it that way too. So, like only a couple shops have them. I ran them into East County before I left for El Salto.
East County Bait and Tackle, okay.
East County Bait and Tackle in San Diego. They're $3.
Okay.
Wow. $3 for a 6-inch swim bait with fins. Doesn't have the eyeball. It's just
you got to buy the hook.
You do.
Yeah.
So, but $3. It's not a $10 lure.
This is in the world though where a lure of similar quality are $20, $30, $40. You know, I mean, this is in a world where if you want to get things because they work. You know, and
you're basically saying it, Pete. So here I am, little guy doing my thing, and I just want to make it affordable. I want to make it fun and friendly and fishable.
Because it says freshwater, and it's like those $150, $250 trout baits.
Hard baits.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
But they can't.
And we live in I mean, arguably the best big freshwater bass, fishery in the whole world. You know, Southern California is arguably the best there is if you want to catch a giant one. And our lakes are so crazy overpressured. You know, there's a lot of people, and those things see a lot of bait. So a quality bait is worth the cost, and this is a quality bait that's a lot lesser than what the other ones out there. It's perfect.
And
it really is perfect.
It's made as a weedless bait, so you could throw it. You don't have to be afraid of a $3 lure to throw it in the junk and get it hung up and possibly lose it. I mean, hopefully you don't hang it up, but the guy can use the same lure out calico fishing and use 3 or 4 lures for the day with a couple dozen fish and have a great time and only spend a little bit of money. So I'm just trying to make it like something I would use and want to purchase and thinking of that world out there.
Yeah. So now what about your higher end bait with the eyes and everything, custom packed on the little plastic?
Well, there's a 9-inch bait that's, roughly $14, $15, depending on where you buy it.
But it looks like a trout.
But that same $15 lure is easily a $30 to $45 lure. So it's kind of, I try to make it really price friendly and not hurt anybody in the industry, but sell the hooks and sell everything with it, kind of work with the industry,
Gotcha.
you know?
Yeah, all right.
So it's all good times.
Yeah, for
Stuff's
sure.
awesome. It's just awesome.
And the available East County Bait and Tackle has it.
East County has all that stuff,
All the
and
freshwater
Dana, Johnny has
Dana Landing.
a few colors on the 6-inch, that brand new one, because we
Nice.
did our thing last week.
Okay.
I left a few down there, so if you wanted to look at them and you're down in that area, he's got a few colors. Yeah.
All right, very good. And of course, you'll be at the Bay Bass seminar next Saturday,
And I'll have some laid out on the table
today,
there.
and you'll be able to teach. That's the other thing we've kind of failed to mention here this morning already is that next week, of course, is the Big Bay Bass tournament, and then afterwards is the giant tent. The big top
with all the vendors,
right?
Yeah.
With all the vendors in there, and Corey will be one of the vendors, and you can go by and get a lesson from Corey on calico fishing, freshwater fishing, all the rigging, and all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
I say vendors. We're not selling anything, but
No,
we're there
just
as
playing.
a manufacturer, whatever, a shop that we can show the wares and show you how to fish it. And,
Yeah.
and you can look at them there. Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. All right, 877-792-1090 open right now. The only line available, so let's jump into it, Rick.
You got it, man. Let's talk to Matt. Matt's calling us from Newport this morning. Matt, good morning. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hi, Matt.
Looking forward to seeing you again, Corey, at Fred Hall. Your excitement you have out there, you can tell there's a passion for it.
Oh,
My question is, I'm moving to southern Baja, the Pacific side. I'm going to be doing, a lot of kayak fishing and that kind of stuff. What would you recommend for me to take down there?
Well,
Lots.
Yeah, as far as lures, I mean, the world of plastics is pretty tough down there, Matt. I mean, I've been down to Abrios and down in that zone, La Bacana, and fished. It's just there's too many toothy critters really for a plastic lure. I mean, you can do it, but
Well, they sure get picked good, though.
yeah, they do.
God,
Yeah,
they
right.
love eating them down there.
Right, they do. But you're going to go through a lot of them. I mean, the hard baits or I have to say you could call it the Baja lure, and Rick could probably even read the top of my head.
If I was guessing, I'm going to say you're going to say a crocodile.
A crocodile.
Is
Yeah.
that what you were thinking?
A 1 ounce crocodile, Matt, and honestly, it's going to be your number one Baja lure. Period.
For everything.
Yeah.
Catches everything. You can bomb it off the beach. You can sink it. You can burn it across the surface. Everything bites them.
And that's just, here I am a manufacturer. I want to sell you lures, right, Matt? But it's the honesty part of it.
But the plastics work too.
Oh, they do.
You're just gonna
Absolutely.
Go through them.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of that, like
Jerk
we were talking,
baits, some of the Rapala jerk baits and stuff
absolutely.
like that. Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Would work very well. And that drop shot technique we were talking about with Hills earlier, that zone is so full of halibut that you would slay them on that drop shot
Oh,
technique
that's a good
too.
call.
Oh,
Totally.
good.
And that you wouldn't lose as many,
Don't you get really good spotty fishing down that way too? Like, aren't the
Super
beaches
good.
like really, really full of
The
spotties?
Coyote
and things?
Lagoon and La Bacana Lagoon, my gosh, yeah. And just a variety. The little broomtail grouper and the stuff we caught down there was pretty darn amazing. I mean, you're catching like 3 to 6 pound little grouper in the bay,
So cool.
and spotty's just ravenous.
3-inch,
Seriously.
5-inch baits. Like, what would you fish if you were fishing?
Probably 5-inch.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But don't look past that drop shot technique, the halibut in there,
Ooh, that sounds like fun. Hey, have a great time. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, we got a first-time caller on the line. We always say first-time callers go right to the front of the line, and that's the case with Derek, who's calling us from San Clemente this morning. Good morning, Derek. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How are you?
What's up, Derek?
Hey.
Well, I'm kind of a first-time fisher into this over the last year. I've been maybe, 7, 8 times. Just my son got into it, and I'm just trying to be supportive and go with him. So
Cool.
we fish a lot. My friend got us kind of in at the Lake Mission Viejo or Laguna Niguel Regional Park up here. And I'm realizing that I don't know much even about what kind of baits or what kind of things to use. And so he doesn't like using power bait as much because he likes to reel stuff in. He's almost 7. He wants to kind of have fun out there, not just sit. So I just wanted to know what works for a lot of the rainbow trout that they stock the lakes with there.
Oh, that's rad, Derek, for sure.
I mean, that's totally cool. Getting your, sharing your son's passion and just wanting, just pushing forward, wanting him to do that. And that's how I grew up. My mom, at that age, I mean, we rode our bikes. I grew up in the Hawaiian Gardens area, and we would ride our bikes to El Dorado Park and down to Seal Beach and Belmont Pier and have a great time. And the fact you're doing that's awesome. I would say like night crawlers and bait just to start with.
Oh yeah.
Like just to get it going.
Get a bite.
Yeah, just
power bait.
Well, power bait, yes, but like night crawlers.
Night crawlers too, right?
I mean, just because you catch a bass, a bluegill, like everything will eat it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You use the whole night crawler. Or are you cutting them up?
Whatever you want to do, Pete. I mean, yeah, you could cut it up. I mean, you could go a step further with your son and dig in the backyard and
that's cool.
and dig up some 3-inch earthworms or something too. Just go a step further with it. Oh, and they will. Yeah.
If you're gonna do the artificial thing, I think like the thing that is everything's got like a graduated step. You know what I mean? When you're into saltwater fishing, you catch them on this and you catch them on that, and then you become an iron guy, then this. But I think in that world of trout fishing, it's if and when he gets into it is mini jigs. Like that's the cool. That's when you're younger and stepping up, and like the cool way to catch them is a longer rod. That you can cast farther and real light line and. A 7-foot rod instead of your, traditional trout, bait dunker rods are usually a little on the shorter, 7 or 7.5 foot real light rod and 4-pound line and those little mini jigs or tube jigs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot of sight fishing. Laguna Niguel, Mission Viejo, both, those are real clear bodies of water, so you can sight cast to them, and that'll be, at 7, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like, if he's already got all the skills that you're talking about, it's probably already super into it. So that's kind of like the, probably the most popular as far as artificial thing goes as you go on. And
the tackle store at the lake.
That's
a lot of times.
I was going to say this is Gundy Gunderson talks about it all the time. Is Hogan's. And that Hogan's shop isn't very far from you at all. It's down at the harbor. Hogan's Bait and Tackle, family owned, family run, and the Stephanie and Breck in there are super, super, super friendly and helpful.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And I guarantee you,
it's right there in your backyard.
The young guys working in there are fishing there. I guarantee you.
No doubt about it. Hey, thanks. I hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Speaking of Gundy, I don't know whether you heard, Gundy's house burned down this past week. Devastating fire. Fortunately, he lost one of his cats, but his girlfriend and his 2 dogs and 1 cat all got out safely. Burned to the ground, whole thing. Don't know. They're doing an investigation about what happened, but fire started outside and it just quickly moved and destroyed it basically his whole life.
Awful.
It just really. But the good news is Gundy's fine. He's in good shape. His brother, Gundy, would never go out and ask for help.
Ever.
He's that kind of guy. He's just a great guy and just a super guy. He never would ask for help. So they've set up a GoFundMe page, and his brother set it up for him. And I've posted it on our website, hookup1090.com, on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you go on the front page of our website, hookup1090.com, you go to the top, click on our Facebook link, and that takes you to our Facebook page, which is Let's Talk Hookup Radio Show. All the links to help Gundy out are right there on our Facebook page. And please help this guy out. Again, he's going to be humbled and embarrassed that we even talk about this, but help. The guy does such a great, and he does that for the passion of it. Every Saturday, every Sunday, he does that fishing report for us, and he gets paid nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. And he has no agenda. He's not selling anything. He's not, he writes for Western Outdoor News and gets paid a little bit doing that, but he does a lot just to be a giver. So
exactly.
Now's the time we need to help him out.
Gundy spends so much time. I mean, he calls every tackle store up and down the entire coast of California, like gathering all that information for a surf report, all the tips that he gives. There's nothing. I mean, he doesn't get anything from those shops. He doesn't get anything from, he's not like
plugs all those shops like Hogan's,
He's not a manufacturer's pro staff where they're paying him to say, hey, tell the guys to use this. That's not Gundy at all. He just does it because he's the man and he gives to all of us. And I'm saying I shared the thing on my Facebook. I was so bummed when I heard. And Gundy's a writer. All of his income comes from writing, all of which was photos, stories, everything was lost in this thing. And you said it best. The guy would never ask for a thing, does nothing but give.
But even if it's $5, $10, $50, whatever, I mean, I'm sure every penny's going to help him because he basically has to rebuild his whole life.
Dude, losing your house? I mean, you're
fishing gear.
Here,
all his fishing gear.
That's
everything.
what I was going to get at, losing all my fishing gear.
Yeah,
I think
Imagine
I'd be ruined.
Yeah.
I'll say too, if you've never done one of those GoFundMe things, it is the easiest thing you could imagine. Go on
Put
to
your credit card in or your PayPal or whatever, and you're done.
It's seconds worth of time. Same deal. I shared it on my Facebook. It takes nothing. It's so little effort for a dude that hooks us all up so much.
You
so,
bet.
Well said, Pete. That's awesome.
All right.
All right, well, hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including another full hour. We got catch reports. We got info. We got the man, Corey Sanden. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk Hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero was awarded the Certificate of Excellence from TripAdvisor for 4 straight years. Especially interesting, most hotels are just hotels, and most people stay in the hotel and go do their activities elsewhere. Rancho Leonero, of course, provides fishing, diving, all activities, all meals, your whole vacation. So the fact that we're so highly rated, we're very proud of it. From picking you up at the airport to dropping you off, literally everything is turnkey from there. We make it as easy as we can for you at the ranch. From your meals to whether you're going to go fishing or diving or just hang out by the pool. When you're coming to Rancho Leonero, you are coming to John Ireland's home. I guarantee the best fishing vacation experience in all of Baja. It's unique. There's nowhere that I could think of to get the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. Our new reservation phone number is 800-646-2252, 646-BAJA, and rancholeonero.com. It's really unique. It is. We're very proud of it.
XEPRF 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Aztec.
Put that clam dunk, that's what I'm talking about.
San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about one of my favorite places to fish in the world. It's Whalers Cove Lodge in Angoon, Alaska. For several years now, we've been hosting groups at Whalers Cove, and this is certainly one trip I do not miss. Each year, the Powers family makes great improvements to the lodge that make this great lodge even better. New rooms, new boats, new fish processing facilities, new outdoor kitchen. The list goes on and on. As for fishing, the calm waters around Whalers Cove are 100 miles from any large town, so you will enjoy wilderness adventure without the crowds. Whalers Cove Lodge has some of the best salt and freshwater fishing in Alaska, and there's no need for a bumpy boat ride for hours. You can find productive fishing for salmon, halibut, and rockfish just 10 minutes from the lodge. Here's the deal. The word is out on Whalers Cove, so you want to go? Book soon. WhalersCoveLodge.com or call 800-423-3123. WhalersCoveLodge.com for the Alaska fishing experience of a lifetime. This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss, Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.